What's up, Lizzies? Today your hosts are
Grace Paulson,
Olivia Schmieder,
and Ava Taylor. Today we're going to be talking about the grapes of Zimbabwe. Let's get into it. Olivia, did you know that Zimbabwe is a landlocked country in Africa?
Where's it at?
Right about there.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And the Zambezi and Limpopo River, go around it.
Really?
I swear.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
And it covers around 150,000 square miles in Africa.
That's huge.
And it's the 26th largest country in Africa.
Say swear.
I swear.
Wow.
Zimbabwe is in the north of the Tropic of Capricorn. So, right about there.
Right there, gotcha.
They have a winter, and the average temperature is around 75 degrees Fahrenheit.
In the winter?
In the winter.
Whoa.
Tropic of Capricorn.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And the average temperature in the summer is either from 90 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit.
I wish we had that here.
Yeah.
Amen. The religion of the Great Zimbabwe.
Uh-uh.
It was unifying and it helped spread the word of the Great Zimbabwe.
Really?
They worshipped the supreme god Amari.
Oh.
He was a cool guy.
Sounds cool.
It was a Selma religion.
What's that?
It's where they focus on spiritual beliefs and they thought that nature had souls. This is the traditional religion of Zimbabwe.
Wow. Hey. Yeah. Did you hear about the grapes of the Great Zimbabwe? Yeah. Well, they used granite blocks to make mortarless walls. Yeah. They also had a huge trading system that stretched all the way from Zimbabwe, which is in southern Africa, if you didn't know. Stretches from Zimbabwe all the way to China. Yeah. They also had this huge structure that housed government officials. It's called the Great Enclosure. It's actually 820 feet long and 36 feet tall. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. They also had a huge hold on gold and ivory trade, all throughout Africa at this time. It was pretty crazy. Yeah. The last thing is they were actually the first empire to arise in southern Africa. Yeah. It's nice talking to you. Yeah. Starting off with the politics of the Zimbabwe Empire, the people were called the Shona-speaking people, or just the Shonas. Pretty much, they had a hereditary monarchy system that all went on the Shona elite. They also had lower government head officials. They were pretty much just governors. They ruled certain regions. And then they also had the Mambos. They lived in the Great Enclosure. They worked with trade, cattle, all that sorts of fun stuff.
Did you know that some of Great Zimbabwe's major exports were cattle and gold? Because gold flakes were in the Zambezi and Limpopo rivers. And then some of their major imports were fancy things like porcelain and glass beads and cloth. And their empire fell because they overused their farmland.
Oh.
Yeah. And then the gold, it stopped. In the river. Yeah. The social classes of Zimbabwe weren't really structured. They just had one really rich and famous class that lived in the Great Enclosure that Olivia was talking about earlier. They controlled most of the cattle trade, more of the big stuff for Zimbabwe. Cattle trade, agricultural trade, all the trades. That's why they also imported cloth and all their fancy stuff. And the Great Enclosure was also a way to close themselves off from all the poor people, which was really messed up, honestly, if you think about it. And Zimbabwe was ruled by a hereditary monarchy of social elite. So the lower class of Zimbabwe was anybody who didn't control trade or control the cattle. But they did grow all the crops for Zimbabwe. That way, Zimbabwe was self-supporting and they didn't have to rely on other countries for imports.
It's cold out here.
Unlike Zimbabwe.
Let's just go back inside.
And that was the grapes of the Zimbabwe. Hope you learned something.
Bye!